Gabriel Agreste, the big bad of the Agreste arc, the original Butterfly Miraculous wielding villain, and a man who just wanted to get his wife back by any means necessary. Too bad he managed to get outsmarted and beaten 9 times out of 10 by literal teenagers. If I'm just being honest, if Gabriel wasn't held back by the writers, he could have won by no joke the 12th episode of the entire show. Today I'll show and explain every time Gabriel Agreste should have won against the Cat and Bug team, and at the end, I'll explain how I would have won as all 3 personas of Gabriel Agreste. But first, a reminder to follow me on X/Twitter and TikTok, as I'm going to use them more throughout this year. All Miraculous tier members get a follow back as soon as you comment your handle and platform on any of my videos. Also be sure to subscribe if you enjoy the video. Now, let's get on to it. I split this video into categories, slowly working up the ladder of possible Gabe victories, starting off with every time Gabe should have won the Miraculous of the Cat. The first time is in Roger Cop, shortly after Officer Roger is akumatized. He very swiftly handles Cat Noir and throws him into a trash can. Ladybug shows up and immediately gets handled. Then what does Roger do? Take the Miraculous from a dispatch Cat Noir? Nope, he just leaves. The next time is in the episode that changed my brain chemistry. This kiss right here made me binge the entire show, low-key. But the problem is that Dark Cupid literally has Cat Noir under his control. Hawkmoth insists on using him to try to beat Ladybug as if he can't just take off Cat's ring, see who it is, and tell him to transform again and help. The information of Cat Noir's identity is invaluable, and Hawkmoth makes this blunder a lot. There's also that time Cat Noir had a copycat.
You suck!
Theo had Cat Noir in shackles with no cataclysm, and he even trips him right before he attempts to take the ring. Now, him getting completely distracted by Ladybug makes sense for him, considering he's enamored with her, but that ring should have been off nearly immediately, especially after she asks a question he knows he doesn't have the answer to. That's not nearly as bad as other times when Cat Noir is literally under mind control from a villain, like in Princess Fragrance or Despair Bear. Both cases of literal mind control, yet they both insist on using Cat Noir instead of just outing him. If Hawkmoth made this mistake twice, then fine. But 3 times and counting is crazy. The next time, Cat Noir should have absolutely been outed, considering Hawkmoth should have learned by now that trying to use Cat Noir will not work out. There's also a plethora of moments where Cat Noir is held prisoner by an akumatized villain, like in Antibug or Captain Hardrock, and Hawkmoth is still not saying anything to have them take off his ring, especially in Antibug where he's encouraging the use of Cat Noir as bait. Like, bro, you've tried this before and it has never worked. By far the most egregious example of Cat Noir being held prisoner is in Anansi, where I'm expected to believe that Nino, yeah, that Nino, managed to distract Anansi for enough time to have Ladybug go to Master Fu, get the Turtle Miraculous, and then come back. Like, Hawkmoth should be torturing Anansi to make her do her best Mike Tyson impression. Meanwhile, Nino's gonna be more of his Frazier, but that doesn't happen. There's also many examples of Cat Noir being under a spell, which would make him vulnerable, but not under complete control, like in Maledictator, where he's turned into a cat, Zombie Zoo, where he's turned into a zombie, or Derision, where Dark Cupid makes Cat Noir act like the comedy troupe of Mo, Larry, and Curly, or Shemp if you swing that way. It's clear Cat Noir is often made to be a damsel in distress, which is annoying because in a world where the writing of the show is actually good, Cat Noir would be a better combatant, where Ladybug would be a better problem solver. Too bad we live in a reality where Marinette is a Mary Sue and Adrian is the exact reverse opposite of a Gary Stu, and he gets himself beaten by literal children in both Sopides and Chris Master, 2 episodes where Cat Noir is saved by the bug because what would he do if he was Dolo? It's also common for Cat Noir to get nearly incapacitated by a villain just for that same villain to not take his Miraculous, like Chameleon, where Cat Noir is literally asleep, Weredad, where Cat Noir is in so much pain he can't even fight back anymore, Miracular, where he tanks a Cataclysm and then Miracular just leaves, or Elation, where Glossiator has Cat Noir beaten twice, but the first time he prioritizes making Marinette kinda homeless, and the second time he gets distracted by Alia? Why is he not just ignoring her? Why is he full focus on somebody who is a complete non sequitur to the task at hand? The fact that good old Gabe is just letting these villains not pursue a nearly unconscious, or actually unconscious in some cases, Cat Noir is astonishing. This even happens in Lies, where Cat Noir unnecessarily sacrifices himself, and when Lies is taking her sweet time reaching for that ring, Ladybug gets Fang to precisely destroy that good luck charm Kagami had on. But these last 2 examples in season 5 were moments where Gabriel himself had Cat Noir dead to rights, and he still managed to get saved by the plot. The first is in Representation, where Gabriel, as Night Tormentor, manages to hit Cat Noir, and the nightmare brought upon him is so bad that Cat Noir decides to let Gabriel take his ring. But then the Resistance shows up, and they manage to put up a fight? Literal teenagers manage to distract Night Tormentor, not to mention Gabriel trying to aura farm instead of just giving them nightmares, which buys enough time for Cat Noir to snap out of it, and Cataclysm Gabriel Joe's blowpipe. But this next one is significantly worse. In Intuition, ignoring the fact that Gabriel has the ability to go back in time as much as he wants and still can't find a winning combination, in one of his first attempts, he venoms Cat Noir while he's stuck inside a shelter. But before Gabe takes off his ring, Ladybug proves to Ada that Claudia Conte is still alive in the cockpit, and she rejects the Akuma. The problem? Gabriel just immediately goes back in time. Why not make the portal big enough to bring Cat Noir back to your lair, take off his ring, and see his identity? Then you can rewind. Again, the information of the civilian identities of Ladybug and Cat Noir are invaluable to Gabriel. If he manages to figure out even one, then he has half the Miraculous right there. Why doesn't he take advantage of that? He just haphazardly rewinds and says, let's try again, instead of taking that information and leaving. In every case of a villain just leaving after handling Cat Noir, Hawkmoth should be torturing them to get his Miraculous. Their personal vendetta could be easily handled after Cat Noir is out of commission, but he always gives his villains leeway for some reason. And aside from the writers not knowing how to logically stop Cat Noir from being outed, I don't know why he allows his villains to do as they please. But when he's in the fight and he messes up, it's just Gabriel being smooth brain, like always. Next up is every time Gabe should have won the Miraculous of the Ladybug. This is going to be a significantly shorter section because this is only when he would have won the Ladybug Miraculous and not asterisk. I expect way more out of you. Now for the penultimate category. Every time Gabe should have won both Miraculous. Now let's head back to Roger Cop. Shortly after Cat Noir uses Cataclysm, Roger Cop tags him, but he gets stuck in the floor? A guy who is shown having enough strength to kick a door off its hinges isn't able to do a dip and get out of a hole? That's without mentioning the fact that these shots should have hit Ladybug, like 100%. Another time in season 1 is the Puppeteer, which is another example of a villain holding Cat Noir prisoner, but Ladybug should not have won this. I mean, look at this right here. After Ladybug's initial blitz, do you guys notice something? Yeah, the shooters aren't shooting. They stopped so Ladybug could win, and the timing of her pausing Puppeteer was way too tight, but I'm willing to let these two cases slide. But from here on out, nothing gets a free pass. Starting off with Robostus. This dude was low-key an Avengers level threat. This is Miraculous Ultron, and Haxan low-key cemented that, but I digress. Robostus had Ladybug and Cat Noir dead to rights, but Max managed to free them. The problem is Robostus could have easily cut off manual access from that control panel, considering he isn't even using it to control the excavator. Also, yes, Hawkmoth would have won the Miraculous because he managed to survive Robostus' attack. So after Robostus wins the Miraculous, Hawkmoth just removes his powers and hauls ass to the stadium. Another Avengers level threat is Dark Owl, considering they had to write in some bogus contingency plan Marinette had that had zero setup prior to this episode. The worst part is they made an even more egregious contingency plan in Destruction that also had no setup, and they just expect us to accept it. But that's for another time. Another episode with just a blatant logical problem is Feast, because you seriously expect me to believe a 186-year-old man who threw out his back trying to transform in Siren is outpedaling a Senate monster that is outpacing cars and almost caught him when he was younger and in significantly better shape. There's also cases we've seen previously of Hawkmoth not putting his foot down with his villains, like in Glossiator when he's yelling at Glossiator to shoot a defenseless Lady Noir, when he should be torturing him to remind him that Glossiator is not in control of the situation. Or in Collusion when Miss Sans-Culotte trapped both Ladybug and Cat Noir, yet Monarch allows her to just walk right past them. Some scenarios require an active imagination to visualize how Hawkmoth could have won, like in Migration. In that episode, Monarch learns that Luca knows the identities of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Again, this information is invaluable for Monarch. But what does he do with this? nothing. If I'm Monarch, Luca's getting abducted within 2 seconds using the Horse Miraculous, and he's getting the truth treatment. He especially should have done this after Gold Record lost. At this point in time, Monarch has the Horse Miraculous at the ready and knows Luca's exact position, but does nothing. I'm going to count Heroes Day in this too, because while the Mirror Avengers did manage to hold their own, they started getting belt to ass quite quickly thereafter. And there is one akumatized villain that we see be akumatized in Catalyst that doesn't show up in Mayura, who if she was on the battlefield, would have been enough of a threat to possibly turn the tides even against Ladybug and Cat Noir. That being Timebreaker. She's very overpowered, and having someone who is faster than you who is essentially playing freeze tag would add so much chaos and difficulty to the battlefield. Mommy Buster's a weird one because technically Hawkmoth did win, but he also kinda didn't. Mendeleev got both Tiki and Plague, yet the two holders kept their Miraculous, so I don't know what Gabe's plan was here. I'm gonna guess it was to go after Civilian Ladybug and Cat Noir, but after they escape, Gabe's kinda just chilling out until they return, because what is he gonna do with the Kwamis? Ignoring that, Miracle Queen should have gone for Hawkmoth 100%. Think about it, if Luca and Kagami didn't give themselves up to save Marinette and Adrian respectively, the show is wraps. It was complete dumb luck that they were saved in this scenario, and luck pisses me off so much. But something that pisses me off more than luck is bad writing, which it's weird for me to hate those two things considering I make videos about Miraculous Ladybug, so the irony is figuratively killing me. But moving on. Bad writing is plentiful, but I'm going to focus on something that I said at the beginning of the video. That being that Hawkmoth should have won by the 12th episode. And that episode is Darkblade. I mean, look at how fast the circle is closing in and just how much it slows down as it nears the protagonist. Like, god damn, it went from 35 miles per hour to like 5. And the writing only goes further downhill because I'm about to spend a lot of time talking about season 5. Easily the season where Monarch should have won the most. Starting with Jubilation. And I'm sorry, but there's no reason for the Darker Owl to be moving that slow. I know it's because the insinuation is time flying by in their vision, meaning they break out before the Darker Owl actually reaches them via time dilation. But every other iteration of this plot point uses a fixed time system to increase the stakes. The main problem is Asterisk put Ladybug and Cat Noir in the same vision, meaning they had to do this slow down time bullshit as opposed to trying to help bring each other back to reality. It's a failure on the writing team by trying to bring about a shared false memory moment between the duo, but it just damages the verisimilitude of the story, and them actually having the same vision makes no sense considering 2 episodes later, Cat Noir doesn't even like Ladybug anymore, and 2 episodes before this, Ladybug didn't even like Cat Noir. They should have had separate visions that they never spoke to each other about, but referenced vaguely so that they both assumed that they had the same vision. It brings about the same final result and fixes the time dilation bullshit. Next up is Illusion, and just a quick question about this episode. If the mini Monarchs were able to venom Cat Noir so quickly, then why did they take so long to venom Ladybug? The difference in time between Cat Noir landing in the sewer and him getting venomed is shorter than the amount of time between Ladybug realizing Cat Noir had been venomed and her pulling out her yo-yo. And why are the venoms hitting her spinning yo-yo when they are the size of mice? They should be hitting her feet or ankles, which are completely unprotected on multiple sides, especially when she's using her lucky vision, which doesn't slow down time at all considering we're seeing the mini Monarchs walk towards her. And if a mini Monarch is standing directly below her, then she isn't defending herself from anything. It's more than reasonable for a mini Monarch to be there considering how quickly one managed to venom Cat Noir. But there isn't one there, and Ladybug gets saved by the plot. Speaking of plot, let's talk about something I covered in my plot holes video, link in the description and in the top right corner. I'm going to cover this again for those who didn't see that video, but this happens in Termination. That being that Manipula is unbelievably overpowered because what do you mean she just has the Miraculars and their powers, but still loses? None of the Wax Miraculars even use their powers short of Rena Rouge, Polymouse, Waxy Bug, and Wax Noir. Gabe should have been able to use his Wax Miraculous to make his wish, but if he needs the original one, then why doesn't he employ Wax Bunnix's burrow to go back in time? Considering he'd then be able to go back in time to a point where Ladybug and Cat Noir were vulnerable, or just pull the Miraculous off their body considering you can freeze time and adjust things from the burrow. Gabe should have won at that exact second. And lastly, the episode where Gabe kinda did win, but then they had to find any possible way to make him lose. That being Deflagration. In this episode, Gabe does win both the Miraculous, but loses them in a truly stunning fashion. For starters, he's hell-bent on getting Tiki's lucky charm, as if he can't just make her make a new one, or unify her and Nuru and make his own, which would fix the Cat Miraculous. Then you remember that he tried to unify Tiki and Plague, which is not required to make a wish, so there's no reason for him to do that. He's able to lock Nuru to his vicinity, and he's able to stop Plague from cataclysming him in Ephemeral, so why does he let it slide now? And don't even get me started on Monarch Bug versus the Resistance. The fact that he didn't just put a portal beneath their feet to send them literally anywhere else is beyond me. Pure Kino. But now it's time for my favorite part, how I would have won as Hawkmoth, Shadowmoth, and Monarch. To preface this, I will only use what they had and what they knew up until that specific episode, minus evolution because it would be way too easy with the Rabbit Miraculous. Matter of fact, I'm going to use no time travel abilities whatsoever. Starting off as Hawkmoth, where I only have the Butterfly Miraculous. Firstly, I'd get Natalie or Chloe to become Miracle Queen again, but this time, I do it at night. Sting everyone in Paris while they sleep, mind control civilian identity Ladybug and Cat Noir to go to a specific place, see it's Marinette and Adrian, take the Miraculous, wish made. With this method, I could even find out who Fu is by saying something along the lines of, if you are the guardian of the Miraculous, come to the same spot as them but bring the Miracle Box and any other miraculous paraphernalia you have. Boom, I win. Next up is Shadowmoth, where I only have the Butterfly and Peacock Miraculous. Firstly, I would Akumatize Natalie into Catalyst, but instead of only getting unlimited Akumas, I would give her the power to upgrade me into making unlimited Akumas and unlimited Amuks. If I can only have one, then I would go with unlimited Amuks. Then, I'd make Optigami again. I'd Akumatize him to give him the ability to have his eyes be invisible when he's inhabiting an object, and repeat until I have like 100 or so. And I would put them everywhere across Paris, or Akumatize someone normally to attract Ladybug and Cat Noir. Then I would have Optigami follow them to find out where they like to detransform, and I'd probably notice that they detransform in the sewers a lot. At that point, I would have all of my Optigamis cover every single inch of the sewers, and just wait for them to detransform after I Akumatize another person. Then I'd see them detransform, find out their identities, and steal their Miraculous from their civilian forms covertly. And I could do that many ways, whether it be by granting myself invisibility, giving myself Timebreaker-like abilities where I just freeze them in time, or just freeze them in general, then I can just take it off their bodies, or any other way to incapacitate them so I can just take the Miraculous off of them as opposed to having to fight them. Then boom, I win. Lastly, as Monarch, where I have every Miraculous minus 4, those being the Miraculous of the Ladybug, the Black Cat, the Rabbit, and the Peacock. This one's easy. Perfect alliance again, but instead of spreading Nightmare Dust, I'm gonna spread Mind Control Dust. Yes, this is basically Miracle Queen again, but worldwide. Now I control the Miraculous, the United Heroes, the Prodigious, the Native American Miracle Box, the Stellar Force, whatever Irupe has. Yeah, you basically get the point. It's honestly too easy to win as any Gabriel incarnation. He can win with the knowledge he has at every finale minus Heroes Day. If I was Monarch, I'd literally become God Emperor Doom. The Supreme would not be the most powerful villain in the Miraculous verse. I would be, because I could just relinquish control of everybody short of the United Heroes, because they actually have powers, and there's nothing anybody could do. I'd be like Injustice Superman, except he only had Bane on a leash. I'd have this world's equivalent of the Justice League on a leash, and every magic providing object on Earth. It makes me mad how easy it is to win with the Butterfly Miraculous, but what makes me even more mad is that Gabriel was never written to be dumb. It's clear that they hadn't established how the Miraculous worked early on and lobotomized them Hemingway style, slowly and then all at once. I also don't want this to come across as a Gabriel hate video because, believe it or not, Gabriel is my third favorite character, and Hawkmoth is my favorite Butterfly Miraculous wielding character in the show. He deserved better, and if this video should be taken as criticism towards anybody, it should be towards the writing of the show, because some of these plot points are just downright unacceptable. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Shout out to channel members Gerardo, Rostero, Loki, and Harb. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.